We flew to Guangzhou for the fair. We get on the subway. This subway is impressive. It has 14 lines. It is the third largest subway after the subway in Beijing and Shanghai. It is 514 kilometers long and 9 million people use the subway every day. I was most impressed by the cleanliness of the subway and order. Before entering the subway, just like at the airport, luggage is checked with a metal detector. There are policemen who keep order, but it's not needed. Subway station Beijing Lu. It means street, from where hop-on, hop-off buses leave. This is the best way to visit. Wherever we are, we buy a ticket for the whole day and stop in the most interesting places in the city. We are going along the Pearl River, where ships sails at night. One evening, we were walking along the river with my wife and we noticed the fishermen. We approached to the fisherman basket and turtles were inside. It turned out that the turtles were caught for restaurant or dinner. The next stop we got off was the White Cloud Mountain. Before entering to the park, the Chinese play footbag. Their skills are really amazing. This is probably their national game because they play in parks and everywhere they can. Women and men play well. The mountain is called White Clouds because of the mist that often enveloped them. We could see when we rode the cable car. At the top of the mountain there were crowds of people. We went to see the view of the Canton. But it turned out that the name did not lie. We couldn't see anything, so we went down. A way back was more interesting than the view. Taking cable car to and from the top is bad idea. The most interesting is the return route. And here you can admire gardens and temples and above all beautiful nature. I'm not surprised that the Chinese spend their weekends here. Because there is something to do here, there are 28 square kilometers of park and 30 peaks you can go on the top. For exploring the peaks, you can take cable car for 25 yuan, but I highly recommend going down on foot. Crowd is like on Krupówki on Sunday, but we choose side path which were very interesting and not so crowded. On the way back, we pass a pond with a carp, which were imperial fish, and we enter a Buddhist temple. They're not believers, and if they are, these are Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism. These three religions have shaped Chinese culture. For those Chinese people, the most important thing is the family and the cult of ancestors. Going down, it is worth paying attention to the signs, and I recommend turn into the side path because you can miss interesting temples, lakes or other nice attractions that we will then regret not seeing. There are several places in the temple where the Chinese pray, and near these places there are shops where you can buy gifts or offer to deities. Because it is a subtropical climate, plants grow even on the roofs and everything grows very quickly. In the temple, there was a spring with a holy water. You have to wash the hands and the face to get happiness in life. In such a high temperature, people washing their faces giving them pleasure. When you walk down, it is worth paying attention to all gates because there are interesting places behind them. There are parking lots for cars where you can drink and eat something. It takes time to walk down and you can get a little tired. Chinese love to spend time on the open air, dancing, singing and playing. We just found such a performance on the way down. We return with our tourist bus straight to the center. We leave White Mountain. If someone is in Canton, one can spend a nice time there and go to the top, admire nature and views. I'm delighted with the vegetation, it is very rich. No wonder Canton is located in the tropical zone, so the vegetation must be lush. It is quite muggy because when it rains everything evaporates. We go to the center by hop-on hop-off bus and on the way we pass old blocks and new ones. We are approaching the center and I'm most impressed by highways that are at the height of the 5th or 10th floor. All these highways are surrounded by beautiful bushes. On the way to the center, we were caught by rain, and as it was in the tropical zone, it was a short rain. It cooled the air, and thanks to this, it was very pleasant. The streets are very clean, unlike from what we have seen in India. Parking is very well thought out. As a rule, the parking lots are in buildings or underground. I like very much that the viaducts and lanes should be separated by shrubs. The weather is good and the shrubs are green all the time and they grow. However, you need people to work who make sure that the leaves do not fall on the streets. This footbridge over the highways are something I would like to see more in Krakow, because they do not obstruct car traffic and are safe. The car traffic is really large, but thanks to footbridges, there are practically no traffic jams even during rush hours. We do not have to stand in the traffic jams at the fair, and we are sure that we will be on the time. As you can see, the Chinese, they do not care about the rules of the road. They cycle wherever they want. They pass through the lanes just like in the United States and Chicago. We pass through the old part of Canton where the houses are in the style that prevailed several dozen years ago or at the beginning of the 20th century. A typical local restaurant, like many. We tried to eat there once, but it was difficult because the menu was only by phone. All districts are rather rare in Guangzhou, but they are very popular with tourists and locals because you can eat there and see something other than modern skyscrapers that are in the center. Here, bus had a problem to turn. There were a lot of people and the streets are so narrow that even taxis had a problem with parking or driving in. And this is two-story bus. Well, I admire the driver could handle it. Especially the trees and wires were so low and it would be easy to hook up. I like the streets where there is trade and you can talk to the owner in person. You can buy everything from products sent directly to Europe in bulk to everyday use, purchase or retail. I will repeat again that I cannot imagine my life here without the footbridges, over roads or highways, and I repeat all the time we must copy this solution. These multi-level roads solve traffic problems, although sometimes there are traffic jams. But rarely. There are exceptional cases. Usually the streets look like they are at the moment. The ride is quite smooth. My son was a bit tired, so he said that he got off and went to our hotel, while we continued along to Pearl River. We have the hotel very close to the river. I chose it on Google Maps because I wanted to have a hotel in the center. I could go for a walk in the evening and see what Guangzhou looked like at the night. And I was not disappointed. Everything is lit, a lot of people are running or fishing. They catch turtles, as I said before. It is a beautiful walking route, a few kilometers, because we were walking for over an hour one way and we could not see the end. We went to one of the walking streets of Beijing Road, where we looked for a Pizza Hut because we wanted a European snack. My family didn't really want to risk Chinese food. They knew what was inside Pizza Hut. After a long search, we finally found a Pizza Hut which was on the 6th floor of the shopping center. After dinner, we went to the promenade, and here the Chinese girl asked my son to take a selfie. We really like to buy from various types of street vendors their juices or fruits. However, we were not willing to take advantage of various strange things that they proposed at the stalls, especially seafood to which we are not used to. We returned to the hotel at 11 p.m. and the view from the footbridge to the intersection where the bikes are waiting for the cars to finish their ride. Thank you for watching the movie until the end. If you liked, leave the thumb. If you want to see other movies, turn on subscription and bell. Please also comment, it will let me know the opinion about my movies. If you have a friend with similar interest, please also share this movie. Thank you again and invite you to watch my other movies.